Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's about time that we start to make this into a proper looking base. Looking over here, we have a lot of this that we want to take out. I think we're also going to drop this water down through here as well. And I think this will free up a lot of the space that we can throw a more permanent barracks in. Maybe some bathrooms. Yeah. I've got a little vision. I think we can do something here. Step one, though, is going to have to be to get rid of this water, which means our tank's going to have to get a little bit bigger. So I think it's about time to insulate in our water tank. All right, I think this is going to be a good start. Now, in addition to everything else that they've got going on, the dupes have a large backlog of stuff to do. And the reason why is when you start having these new colonies and you start throwing down all these storage bins, well, it takes them a while to get all of the materials that we've told them, put everything in here. For instance, in this storage bin here, it's 17 tons of dirt, and there's still a ton more dirt that they're going to find to put in there. Right now, we've unearthed 137 tons, and that goes for every single one. These we've told to fill with sedimentary rock, not too much of that, but with these we've told to fill with igneous rock. So there's a lot of chores that we're needing to play catch up on. This is also why it's important to continuously hire more duplicates as long as you can feed them to make sure you can get through all this backlog of chores and make sure that you can grow on a timely basis. On the research front, we've gotten a lot of the basics done at that tier 1 and tier 2 level. Now, since we don't have anything that we need on a priority basis, we're just going to go from top to bottom, knocking out all the tier 1 and tier 2s. Alright, they're not completely done with the tank renovations, but I think we're far enough along to be able to drop this tank here. In fact, just because I know the backlog is a lot, we will go ahead and change the priorities just a little bit to encourage them to come let this water out. Oh yeah, here it comes. Not as climatic as it was last time. Now this will definitely take a while, and we're also going to put a layer of tiles in here to push this water up. That will eventually fall in, just like that. And as soon as that water gets finished loading into the tank, we will deconstruct this tile so we can get access to the mealwood again. Incidentally, it not only stopped us from getting to the mealwood, it also stopped us from reloading our coal generator. Added a small tile here to be able to force the water over into the tank. A little bit easier, mopping all this up. As soon as this is done, we'll get back in there and turn the oxygen supply back on. We're going to accelerate this process a little bit with a little mop. And that way we can deconstruct this tile and get back to filling the coal generator. I tell you what, Ironhide and Optimus, yeah, they can dig. It's pretty impressive watching them go through. Finding a couple of hatches as we dig through some of this open area. It's all great. I think this is going to be the location of some barracks to start, and maybe eventually some bedrooms. Alright, we're going to break into here for a couple of reasons. First, we need to get our hands on a couple of thimble reeds for our bathroom setup. Second is we need the sedimentary rock. It seems our first hatch stable here is already ran out. Now, they just ran out because they're still sitting on a lot of calories, but we want to keep feeding these two stables a bunch of sedimentary rock. That way they make us more stone hatch eggs. Just to be safe, we don't want this polluted oxygen getting through to the main side of our base. We are going to put a couple of deodorizers right there and then go on in. We only really need one thimble reed to start. And then I want to core into here so we can grab this sedimentary rock. If you zoom in nice and tight, you can see that there's a vacillator in here, and it looks like another lab table. I guess since we're here, we might as well get into this door and, go see what the vacillator holds. This is pretty cool. We've unearthed an unidentified species of mealwood. I don't think we did anything as far as radiation to be able to cause that specific seed to shift. So it's very interesting that we have an unknown mutation here. That's pretty cool. Submitting the bioscan over here. And obviously we're going to be throwing Optimus into all the Vacillator recharges because he's going to be a beast. 3 more hatches just randomly roaming around. I'm sure there's more, but as we keep digging, we keep finding hatches. We throw them into these wonderful places. And as we suspected, look at this. We actually found a new database entry. It's been a long time since I've seen a new database entry. Yeah, I would have to say it's been at least 100 hours since I've seen a new database entry, so it's pretty cool that they must be adding more as the patches go. Will not show it to you because I don't want to spoil any of the story for those of the folks who have not read the whole story. But what we can do is throw old Optimus into this normal Vacillator. Come on down, buddy. This only hurt a bit, and already done. And of course, Optimus got the beefsteak. He now has that plus 10 strength. Very nice. Yeah, they must have thrown more logs into the game. I just found another new database entry by inspecting the normal Vacillator. Alright, we've began construction on our proper bathrooms. We're going to have 3 sinks, 2 showers, and 3 latrines. Now eventually, every dupe will have their own bedroom with their own sink and shower and their own lavatory on top of it. Right now, we don't really have the dupe labor to be able to pull something like that off. So we're going to put one of these setups in there for now, and eventually they will have the good life. If you've been watching this channel for very long, what we like to do with the bathroom setup is, because your bathrooms produce more water than they consume, is you recycle what water it does have, and any extra goes into some thimbleweed plants. I can already see that it's getting a little warmer over here, and right through here it looks like it gets to be 38, 40 degrees. So just in case, we're going to put some insulated tiles on this side of it. It'll keep our thimbleweeds from overheating, not to mention all that extra heat coming into our base. Alright, we're about done with the plumbing on our new bathroom setup. We're just going to be loading it in from this bridge, just enough to get us going, and once we have enough water, it'll start recycling around the other way. Looks like we got to put another quick ladder segment here to be able to finish off these top pipes. Are a little taller than normal. Alright, there we go. Thing of beauty. We can now destroy all these old janky outhouses and wash basins who just proceed to pollute everything in the entire base. With the completion of our bathrooms, I figured I'd mention a few things on the shower. So the shower is one of these often not used devices, and I just don't know why. It gives the duplicant a +3 to their morale and cures skin irritations, soggy feet, and sopping wet. Plus, it produces more polluted water, which you can then turn into food for your thimbleweed. So, I'm a big fan of the showers, and later in the game, every single duplicant will have their own beautiful shower inside their own room. It's gonna be great. Look at this. Our first little stone hatchling has been born. Oh, wow, the entire colony's future rests on your little back, buddy. Way to go, Ironhide. Now we've set aside this critter drop-off for all the stone hatches. It's already got loaded up with a little bit of igneous rock. We need to load up these boxes as well, but it's at a priority of 4. And, you know, people are taking the time with storing materials. Now the good thing about these guys, the only thing they eat is this mineral and rock sort of stuff. Some other base improvements we're going to be making is the addition of the pole. Right now we're already getting the long commute timing, which makes sense. So why don't we add some a nice pole for everybody to ride down. Yeah, I think we can go through here as well. Additionally, we've been replacing all of our standard wire with the conductive wire as we're creating things and making some more copper to be able to do the rest of it as well. Taking out all the natural tiles and replacing with sandstone tiles. You might wonder why you don't just keep the natural tiles going. They do have some advantage. For instance, pips can come along and plant things in them, right? Well, regular tiles, tiles that the duplicants build, actually have a bonus to run speed and decor. So it helps the decor and it helps them get around quicker too. We're also going to build our water sieve and carbon skimmer setup. Our carbon sink here still got a little bit of space down here. I mean, we're sitting at about 1,800 kilos and it's finally coming up over the floor here. So I figured it's probably about time to start cleaning that out. Now, the good thing is we're putting it right here on the left side. So this whole area will be able to have all those nice coal generators and produce all that carbon dioxide, and which the carbon skimmer will clean it. Not a big deal, and we'll eventually seal this off. Once we get all the sedimentary rock and igneous rock that we want out of it, we'll seal it back up so all of the carbon dioxide in our base, in addition to the carbon dioxide created by the coal generators, will come here and get cleaned. Short little pipe run. If you've never seen one of these function, it's a fairly simple process. The carbon skimmer uses clean water and cleans the carbon dioxide out of the air. Well, we take that, and once it cleans that water, it produces polluted water, which then goes under the water sieve, gets cleaned, and then recycled for use back into the carbon skimmer. So we don't need much from our little plumbing here. In fact, that is plenty. And now with the addition of the little plumbing mod, we can cut it right off. Perfect. Beautiful. It's working well. This may even be a little much water. So I think what we can do, once we get just a smidge more, we can just seal it off with the pliers. And now our carbon cleaning system is complete. Another little nice to have feature is inside of our little polluted water cleaning room. We're just going to put a bottle emptier and select polluted water on it. So now whenever we get bottles of polluted water, like these old ones here, someone will come by, throw them in this bottle emptier, and this liquid pump will throw them right into the thimble reed. Here comes Ironhide now. Just a simple little system. Perfect. So now the thimble reeds get to grow more, which creates more reed fiber. Now we also add a deodorizer right next to it, because this will create polluted oxygen. And to help this out a little bit more, we're actually going to put a couple of tiles right down here. And that way the polluted oxygen, if it tries to escape, it's going to have to do it through here, and that'll be in the range of the deodorizer. Because remember, your deodorizer's range is only 3 up and 3 over. Now there are some flaws with this system, and I think I might be able to fix them. And it's because this is the inlet. It should be letting the polluted water go through it and then feeding this thimble reed. But it can't, because this is an out pipe. So I think the best way to solve it is to not have it in line. We'll see if that works. No, more of the pipe mechanics biting you in the butt. It still will not feed over to this next one. But it's okay. We can have one thimble reed for this liquid pump and one that absorbs the water from the bathrooms. Let me fix this plumbing back. Alright, this system here seems to work from both directions. On the bottom side here is the pipe from any excess that the water sieve cannot clean because this is full. The pipes on the top side are coming from this liquid pump here, and everything seems to be flowing well. So we're coming over here because I think we're going to end up putting our electrolyzer set up somewhere in this area. We need to drain this water first, but then look at what we discovered. Our teleporter transmitter. You know, notice there's now a small little electronic display with whatever the ceiling robot is. No idea. It's made out of granite. It's a ceiling robot. There's also a robotic arm over here. But the good thing about now finding the teleporter transmitter, other than a new database entry, is now we've discovered the other planetoid. It's Smelial. And our original planetoid is Fertilera. I don't know. I'm not digging these planetoid names. I'll like it when we can rename them to like something creative. Like Primus 1 and Primus 2. Alright, let's go check out Smelial and see what it looks like. Standard fare. Look at all of the polluted oxygen coming off of Smelial. Maybe that's why they call it Smelial. Swamp chard growing in space. Very cool. Looks like here's one of our teleporter output or input. You notice too that they've removed the glass. Now it's just these little panels here. So it definitely, and it looks like the mass is only 5 kilos. So it looks like they've removed your ability just to throw up a quick solar panel. Very interesting. Looking forward to exploring it more. Step 1 to utilizing this area, I think, is going to be coring it out. Step 2 is going to be draining this water. I thought about just dumping all the water in here, but I think we have plenty of room in our main tank, and we are using a lot of it for the research. So I think it'd be good to put the water in there, which, by the way, cycle 49, I am pleased to report, still no surface germs inside of our water. Yeah, the polluted dirt inside the storage bin that's touching the water is horribly filthy, but, you know, details. Alas, we have found our first cool steam vent, 3,719 grams a second at 110 degrees. I don't want to tap into that quite yet, so we may have to think of another plan. Because this time we're going to use the cool steam vent, we're going to cool it from the rip, and that's going to require a thermo aqua tuner, and right now we don't have the plastic for the thermo aqua tuners. I was hoping it was going to be like the cool slush geyser or something. Let's continue to explore, see what we can find. I found another little guy right over here, and it is a little bit cold, so it might be what we're looking for. Why don't we dig out? Actually, we don't even need to dig there. We can go right through here. So convenient. We're starting to get to the point where we have some skills available. Our morale's not quite at the point where you really want to start dumping skill points into duplicates. The only ones I think we're going to bring it up a little higher is Ironhide and Optimus for the super duper hard digging, and then Wheeljack for the increases in the research. Everybody else, we're kind of good with where they are. You know, Trailbaker's got his critter ranching and the cooking, and then Hound's got critter ranching as well. Once we start eating barbecue and having some better areas set up and that morale's doing better, then we can start throwing in with the improved carry and eventually the suit wearing and everything like that. Our top stable here has already got 6 critters in it. Second one has 5, and then the third one has 7. So I think we can probably flip this one over to add the stone hatch and stone hatchlings. While we're switching it over, we'll have one set on igneous rock and the other set on the sedimentary, so that way the regular hatches still have something to eat, because regular hatches cannot eat igneous rock. So we finally got to digging over to this one. It's also a cool steam vent. Why is my life cursed with nothing but cool steam vents in the past couple of games? Alright, off to explore some more. Starting to get a couple of starvation warnings, and that's caused from dupes not getting home in time to eat. So I think it is about time to add the third downtime slot. In our exploration efforts, we found another little office room here, and this one actually has the office mug. The office mug is pretty cool because it's like a decoration that you can display on one of these fancy pedestals. We'll definitely eventually do something with that office mug. Now, why you can't grab that office mug, but you can grab that one? Look at this. One of our stone hatches is broken free. That will not do. What is going on here? This one still has room for one more. We've increased it to 8. This ones can still have stone hatches too. We need more dupes for all these dupe chores. So we dug out even more and we dug even taller until we've hit this biome. Looks really pretty and compact, except this is all ice. Minus 60 something ice. I mean, this is minus 65 over here. So our dupes aren't necessarily prepared to go in here without getting pretty sick. So we're going to continue to dig around and see what we can find, but chances are this is where our cool slush geysers are. On the right side of our base, it seems we're not too far off from the actual neutronium. And there's no sight of any other geysers over here. Now, this is based on the chance that I'm not just flatly missing it. All else fails, I guess we're digging back up. On some of the larger dig runs, especially going on these little exploratories, I like to make them 2 tiles wide. It helps the oxygen and everything flow a little bit better, so they're not constantly having to come back down for breath. Let's see if this dig here reveals anything. If not, we're going to have to head back over this way. I don't see the neutronium on the left side of the map yet, which makes me think we might be a little off-centered. I don't know. I don't want to dig this way through because I definitely don't want to mess with this cool steam vent if it can be prevented. And I'm trying not to let some of these pockets of chlorine and hydrogen out quite yet. It seems we have found another vent. It was hiding over here in the shadows. Now the question is, how do we get to it without unearthing all this chlorine and everything? The answer, I guess, is just carefully. I mean, I couldn't have planned that staircase even better. We're starting to get a lot of our food starting to rot and everything, so... And I think it's basically just because we have so many sources of food coming in, between the omelets, the barbecue when hatches die, the pickled meal. We still got a ton of muckroot, but we are growing, and that's what's important. So I think we're going to go ahead and remove the bristle blossoms now. Between the bristle blossoms and the muckroot, I'd rather get rid of the bristle blossoms on the simple fact of they take water. Now, we might revisit bristle blossoms later in the game and make some berry sludge for space missions, but for now we can say goodbye to our friend the bristle blossom. So, exploration update. It seems we have found the vacuum of space, and this is all nice and frozen. This will probably be where we start some sort of industrial research up here. But unfortunately, there's no neutronium deposits, which says no geysers or vents. So I'm not 100% sure. We might have to head off into a direction left or right and see. But let's wait until they finish this little stairway and see what we discover here as well. Oh, look at this. We have found a cool salt slush geyser. Brine coming out at minus 10. Because the cool salt slush geyser was in the middle of this tundra biome, I had it on a whim. I was like, let me dig up to the other tundra biome that we found before. And sure enough, there's the cool slush geyser pushing out the polluted water. So now we have a decision. Are we going to build our oxidizer setup around this tundra biome? Or are we going to build it around this one? I think we have plenty of footage for today's episode, but I want to hear your comments. There's a couple of things that you got to keep in mind. One, we'll be cleaning salt water into clean water, and in this one, we'll be cleaning polluted water into clean water. And both of those have different implications in the process of cleaning them. For instance, the desalinator produces 8K DTUs, whereas the water sieve only produces 4. Some other great effects. Yeah, the desalinator produces heat, but it also creates salt, which you then can turn into table salt and give it to your duplicants, and it helps out morale. So there's lots of things to consider here. The good news, bar none, is the fact that we have cold water at the plenty. You know, whether we're going to use the salt or the polluted We also have 2 cool steam vents. We're going to have plenty of water on this map, which I'm very excited about. Also in the background, I have created another stable, so this will bring us up to, if they're all running 8 critters and they're automated, we'll be able to run up to 20 dupes. I think we're actually going to go a little higher for this playthrough. I don't know, maybe 24? So this would indicate we would need 1 more stable. Other than that, we're doing great on food. We need to start looking at oxygen. Yeah, we still got 40 tons of algae, but I don't want to wait like we did last time, so the electrolyzer setup is on the docket for next video. Remember to leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, if we should go with the salt slush geyser or if we should go with the cool slush geyser. So please let me know what you think. I had fun. Hope you did too. Talk to you soon.